Hey folks, it's me again, and I'm back in the GTI. You know, I've been getting a lot of comments about the differences between the Golf R line, the Golf GTI, and the Golf GTR. In that particular order, that's the way it goes: the R line, GTI, and R. Now, of course, everybody knows the R is the big daddy of them all, the granddaddy of them all. Everybody wants that one. It's about 300,000 ringgit. But you know what? They're all the same. They're all Golfs. Okay, let's not get around that. They're all Golfs. Now the R line is the introductory model, the sound and style variant, or is it style and sound variant? One of those. I just gave that back actually, and you can see the video on that previously. So the GTI. Now many have asked in regards to if it's a choice between the two, the GTI and the R. You know what? Merging into traffic is never been more fun than when it comes to the GTI. It is really good. It is really quick. Now the problem with the GTI is that it does attract a lot of attention, and you do something like that, you're gonna get a lot of people coming up right behind you. Oh, this acceleration. You know what? I don't think I can ever tire of this acceleration. It's so damn good. Now, I did mention that as far as an all-rounder is concerned, the GTI seems to be the more all-round car as far as the Golf range is concerned. Somebody else was mentioning also about the side bolsters. The side bolsters are fine. They're not too bad at all. They're actually quite comfortable. They're holding me in place. These of course aren't full bucket seats. They're like not even, well, maybe semi-bucket, because there's quite a lot of thigh support on the side here. But it's very comfortable. It's keeping me in place when I'm taking corners. And keeping it in sport mode, the revs are now at 4,000 RPM. And if you're not interested in doing that, you can just hit these, go back to normal and eco and comfort. So I've got 5 driving modes to choose from. I've chosen comfort now. I'm on the highway. And yeah, straight away the revs, same speed, have dropped to 1,005. So from 4,000 RPM, it's dropped to 1,005. That is how pronounced the sport mode is. So again, like I said in my previous video, it doesn't really matter what mode you're in. You just slam your foot down and the car will go. But in sport mode, I'm correcting myself now, in sport mode, the revs are already up. So when you slam the throttle, there's no lag whatsoever. I mean, the car just goes. I mean, it's just, there's no other way to put it unless you test drive it. Now, remember what I said about if you're keen on buying the R line, it's good enough for you, then don't test the Golf R or the Golf GTI. This is the Golf GTI. Don't do that, because if you like power, if you like speed, if you like really point and shoot kind of driving characteristics, there's no other way to say it. This car delivers. This car delivers all that in spades. It really does. And somebody actually asked me, which car would I choose if I had a choice between all three, the R line, the R, and the GTI? I did mention the GTI, and I stand by that. As far as an all-round car is concerned, whether you're going to use it for daily commuting, whether you're going to use it to hoon on weekends, on Sundays with the boys, whether you're going to drive it on track every once in a while, or whether you're just going to, 90% of the time, you're just going to commute in it by yourself, then if you can treat yourself to a GTI, yes. I would get the GTI actually. The R is amazing. There's nothing wrong with the R, but I think pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the best deal out there right now, insofar as the Golf range is concerned, if you can afford it, is the Golf GTI. Not to say I don't like the R. There's nothing to not like about the R. It's just very extreme. Okay, it's like how can I put it? Let's go Japanese. Let me give you a Japanese analogy, or from that perspective. Let's say you are in the market for a Civic, okay, a Honda Civic, and you've tested the 1.8, the normal 1.8, and then you've tested also the 1.5 turbo, and then you've tested the Type R. Okay, you've tested all 3 of those, and you have to find out for yourself which one suits you most. I have to tell you, I love the Type R, but can you live with it on a day-to-day basis? I could. because I don't work in KL, I don't work in downtown Kuala Lumpur. I'm not really subject to the kind of traffic jams that people face on a daily basis when they commute to and from work. Okay, let's say if you live in PJ and you have to commute to into KL for work and back again at the end of the day. A manual transmission, as much as you love it, as much as I love it, on a weekend, on the open road, you know, going up Bukit Tinggi or Uluyam, as much as I love that and as much as you love that, you have to consider that you're going to have to do this on a daily basis with a manual transmission. And I don't know how appealing that is to you, but to me, if I worked in KL and I had a 9-to-5 job, I would not want a manual transmission. I would have two cars actually. One manual for back home, for Sundays at home, and one automatic for commuting on a daily basis. No, actually, you know what? I'll take that back. I'll still have the manual back home, then I'll commute on a bike. It's true. If I have to go into KL for an event, more than likely I'm going to use the train, especially if it's in KLCC or anywhere in the vicinity of KLCC. But if it's not, then I'll use my bike. I'll use a scooter, because there is no other way of getting into and out of KL faster than on a scooter. So there you go. But back to this car, I still stand by what I said. I love the fact that it's so compliant. Okay, now I'm puttering now at 100 kilometers an hour. Okay, legal highway speed limits. The revs are not even at 2000 RPM. If I were to put it into sport right now, immediately the revs have climbed to 3000, and then I put my foot down. Oh, and it just goes. Oh man, this car just goes. It's amazing. And you know what? It's not like a huge kick in the pants. It is a kick in the pants, but not a huge kick in the pants. It's very linear, but very urgent. So it's like a double-edged sword thing there. It's very smooth, but it's also very urgent. I love it. It's amazing. So now I'm just gonna put it back to comfort. Let's see what happens if I put it to eco. The revs have dropped below 1000 RPM. I'm doing 100 kilometers an hour and the revs have dropped below 1000 RPM. The car is just idling. But I'm doing 100 kilometers an hour. Oh, okay. So the thing I said about taking away all the modes, maybe I'll take that back as well. Yeah, it's nice to have these modes. I'm in eco now, and this is crazy. The revs are barely registering. Amazing. But you know, you can't really drive with this for very long unless you're going long distance. So I'll just put it back to comfort. There's also normal. There's not much difference between comfort and normal. So anyway, that's the driving modes. You know, this car is really, really nice to drive. There's no getting away from that. I mean, it's a lovely, lovely car to drive. And yeah, so can you use a GTI class car on a daily basis? If it's this one, absolutely yes. When the sorry, as usual, somebody's gone into the smart tag lane without a smart tag, and I'm gonna have to go into the touch and go lane. Anyway, all right, there we go. So yeah, no point getting angry. I mean, these things happen. And the funny thing is, it's been happening a lot lately. Are you all getting too distracted that you don't even know which lane to go into? Whether it's RFID, whatever, RFID, or whether it's smart tag, or whether it's touch and go, or whether it's cash. There's no more cash. So, you know, it's a choice of three, and a lot of you seem to be getting it wrong. That's like the 5th time this has happened in the last week. Somebody's going into the wrong lane for the toll transaction. Anyway, what was I saying just now? So yeah, can you use a GTI class car on a day-to-day basis? Now, let's not get around the fact this thing is almost $250,000 ringgit. But the answer is absolutely yes, and I stand by that. You can definitely use this car daily. Now, somebody was also commented about reliability and longevity. Now, I told you before, I cannot comment on that because I'm giving this car back in 2 days, and although it's already got 2,378 kilometers on it, it is still a new car. I don't know what it's going to be when that odometer figure is tripled or quadrupled. What's it going to be like when it's at 20,000 kilometers on the odometer? What's it going to be like when it's 40,000 or 60,000 or 80,000? This is what you're going to have to find out for yourself. And I would love to hear it. I mean, if you own a Golf GTI, regardless of year, tell me in the comments what it's been like. Because let's say if you've done 100,000 kilometers, you've probably owned the car for about 3-4 years already, 5 years maybe, 20,000 a year, so about 5 years. So yeah, tell me what it's like. Tell me what it's like driving a Golf GTI on a daily basis, or any GTI class car on a daily basis for that matter. I would love to hear your comments. So in the meantime, let's see, let's put it in sport, put it in hold, put my foot on the accelerator, and let's do an acceleration test. Okay, I'll try counting before I reach 100 and see what happens. So now I'm in sport. I've got it on hold. I'm not going to rev the engine. There's no launch control, but we'll just see the acceleration. Oh my giddy aunt. Holy moly. Okay, don't play around with the sport mode, okay? That was pretty scary. That was actually a little bit of wheel spin before the traction control kicked in. This thing is crazy. So I was puttering around just now in economy mode where the revs were barely registering above 1,000 RPM. And then I put it in sport mode when I was at a standstill at a traffic light. And I've reached this place. You know what? This is a time machine. Because I have never done that stretch in that short amount of time. Wow. Okay, heading to residential areas now, so I'm gonna slow down and put it back to eco. Ooh. And it's like the car has gone to sleep. The car has gone to sleep. So there you go. If ever there was a time to use the analogy of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I've just gone back to Dr. Jekyll here. But you saw what happened when I went into Mr. Hyde mode just now. Wow, really, amazing. All right, well, I'm not going to tell you that you should buy this car. You're a grown person. You make that decision for yourself. But I will tell you that if you are in the market, you got to go drive this car. And also, many have asked between this and a Type R, which would I choose? Because I don't work in downtown KL, and because I wouldn't use a car for commuting, even if I were working in downtown KL, even if I were subjected to horrible traffic jams every day, that's just me. I would take the Type R, okay? Because I love 3 pedals. I love manual cars. You know, 3 pedals, 6-speed transmission, my manual transmission. I would take that. But if I had to work downtown KL every day and had to commute, and I had only one car to choose, and I had the budget, I don't need to say it, right? You know the answer already. So thanks again for all the comments. Thank you so much for the views. I really appreciate quite a number of views on the previous video. Hopefully this one has been good as well. So not a full review, because everybody knows what the Golf GTI is capable of. Everybody knows the specs. Just in case you want to see the specs, I'll put it down in the description or a link to the actual specifications. But take my word for it. Go test drive this car if you're in the market, if you want something fun to add to the joy of your daily commute. You know, maybe if you work late and you finish work at midnight and the roads are clear, you want something fun, or you want something that's not going to make you fall asleep on your way home, then maybe you need something like this. Yeah, definitely. So, okay, nice one. Yeah, another one of those cars that, you know, it's going to be very difficult to give back because it's so much fun. But it's been fun, and stay tuned. Lots more coming, really. We just finished Cars of Malaysia. Evo Enduro is coming up. I am still undecided. So many people are saying it's like a 50-50 thing. Many are saying take the 126. Many are saying take the E30. So on the day of the drive, maybe I'll have all my luggage with me at my feet. Both cars will be staring at me. I'm gonna flip a coin. I think that's the only way. So in the meantime, stay tuned, and I'll come back with more. Take care, y'all. Bye bye. Sorry, forgot to mention, now the car has got its auto start stop activated, and yeah, the aircon is getting a little bit warm, so it's on auto hold right now, and the moment I put my foot on the accelerator, the engine's gonna kick on. Yep, and here we go. So the engine's just kicked on. But yeah, it's 34 degrees outside, and the auto start stop, one of those things that you're gonna have to turn off by yourself, because it does heat up the oh no, sorry, it doesn't heat up the car. The air conditioning doesn't get as cold as when the engine is running. I mean, there's just no getting way around it. If you were in a cooler climate, let's say if your ambient temperature on average daily is about 15, 16, or still in the upper teens, or maybe even in the low 20s, then it probably wouldn't matter because the outside temperature would be cool enough to keep the interior of the car cool enough. But in Malaysia, no, it really doesn't work. So this is more a social responsibility for trying to save on fossil fuels and stuff like that. But it really doesn't work in our climate. It's mad. I don't know, maybe a better quality tint, because this car is a test car. There's no tint whatsoever. Maybe a better quality tint might help keep the heat out. Get one that's really good for this car, and it would be worth it. It would be definitely worth it. I forgot to show you the outside, haven't I? So let me pause here and show you the outside from somewhere else. Okay. Hey folks, so just discovered something very interesting and actually something very cool. To pop the bonnet, it's this button here, this lever here, but you can't do it if the door is open. If the door is closed. You have to open the door, and that's the only way to access the bonnet release. So let me just do a very quick walkabout outside because it's crazy hot out here today. And so here we go, Golf GTI. Oh yeah, by the way, this turns red at night. It's actually a light. It looks like a silver panel, doesn't it? But it actually turns red. So there you go. Again, another way to tell the GTI from the Golf R is that the GTI has twin tailpipes, the Golf R has 4 quad tailpipes. Okay, this thing pops open to reveal the camera. It also, you can use it manually to open the bonnet, but to open the boot. But there you go, that's your interior. And in here is the camera which pops out. Okay, so of course, GTI. The R would say R. There we go, GTI again. And these lovely red inserts. Okay, this one actually follows all the way through. And the GTI and the bonnet there. So there you go. Nothing too audacious. Nothing too sorry, I almost lost the camera there. Nothing too ostentatious to actually say that this thing is a monster. And ta-da, the heart of it. 2-liter TSI engine, 350 Newton meters of torque. Amazing stuff. And it's, you know what? It's amazing torque. From as low as 1,500 RPM. Seriously amazing. Bonnet strap. Love these. Tie rods are so yesterday, aren't they? So there you go. Yep. There's a lot to like with this car. There really is. A lot to like. And so, like I've always said, I'm not going to tell you what car to buy. But if you're looking for something fun, you're looking for something a little bit different from the norm, you want something a little bit more interactive, you want something a little bit more enjoyable to drive for your daily commute, or whether it's on Sunday. That's the thing about this car, it does everything really, really well. It can commute, it can putter around, it can go crazy anytime. It's all there, all at your fingertips. Really nice. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe if you haven't. It really helps. Thank you for all the subscriptions and comments. Keep them coming. I like this rapport that we have. And so keep them coming. And like I said, I'll try to get to all the comments when I can. Sorry if I miss them. Like I said, sometimes I don't get all the notifications of the comments, but I will get to them eventually. So stay tuned. Lots more coming. Take care, y'all. It's been a wonderful day. I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.